Greetings, this is Scholar Saunders Singh. What's current? Much respect, much honor to the legacy and the memory of Fatman Scoop. Um, his real name is Isaac Freeman III, but the world knew him as Fatman Scoop, especially on party records. He was always the voice, what I'm saying, if you got a $20 bill in your pocket, if you got a $50 bill, make noise. And he just, what's your zodiac sign? And engine number 9. Like, you just remember. And then he was with Missy on Lose Control. Let's go. And then he was with Beyonce on Homecoming. I mean, he had an illustrious career. He had great connects. He was definitely a fixture in hip hop for energy, for getting the party started, for having a good time. He definitely was the champion of that. So he was one of the greatest hype men in hip hop history. There's no question about that. The sad part is he died at 53, which he didn't have to. It's in his name, Fatman Scoop. But the origin of Fatman Scoop comes from his uncle who said he was eating ice cream all the time, like a fat man, getting scoops of ice cream. So he called him Fatman Scoop. So that was a little heads up for people that don't know. But it's a sad occasion. It's very sad. He collapsed on stage in Connecticut. No details as of yet to the cause of death. A lot of people are suspecting it was a heart attack. It may have been some kind of issue with that, but that's just all conjecture. Nobody's really sure exactly what happened. We're still trying to piece together everything, but for his life, for the reason why he was living, he was a forerunner. He was a pioneer in a sense with being with his wife on VH1 before they had all the Miami and New York and LA and Atlanta and all those different locales for hip hop stars beyond. He was a hip hop star that was just with his wife. It was just he and his wife in the show. I don't think that was his wife later on in life, but they made it entertaining. They made it interesting. They kept it moving and popping and shaking, and they kept it on point. So you have to give them that amount of credit and give him his credit. It's a shame. It's a shame. Really, it's sad. I mean, we're in an age where 53 is really young. That's the greatness of our society, and that we have people living into their 90s and hundreds. And when you die at 53, it's like, wow, he's really young. But if this was like 50 years ago, they're like, well, he had a run. He had a long run. I mean, they wouldn't even conceive of thinking about somebody dying in their 90s or hundreds nowadays. But that's where we're going. That's what I want to get to. I want to get to hip hop where you die in your hundreds or your 90s. That's what I want to get to. I want to get to that point where there's a retirement home, for rap stars and hip hop, personnel. That'd be pretty cool, I think. Um, I think that Fatman Scoop was definitely a beacon for hip hop, and he was a great interviewer. He interviewed the interview that I listened to was of Tariq Trotter, also known as Black Thought, and they had a really great discussion talking about their top 50s and their top 10s and their top 5s, best MCs. And they're like, he was like, oh no, we effed. He was using the word. He was dropping F bombs all over the place. He was like, we effed Lauryn Hill. We effed Rod Digger. We effed. I'm saying we forgot. Really, that's what the F meant. I mean, he probably meant it for a little bit more unsavory way of saying something. But in a sense, he was saying like he was saying how tragic really it was to forget the different women in hip hop. When they had a whole list, they had Kumo D, Rakim, and KRS-One, Chuck D. They're just going on the list for guys, but they're like, oh, we forgot about the ladies. We got to talk about the females. He's just like, oh yeah, we got to tell on him. So that's the kind of guy he was. He seemed like he had a firm position within the genre of hip hop itself. Um, it just seemed that he had a better grip on reality than most people would have. He seemed like he had a greater understanding of who he was and what he was about. And that's all very good. That's all a sign that he had a working brain. He had a functioning mind. So he had that going for him. It just seems like it was all meant to be. It was all, sadly, it was meant to be because I mean, we have to wonder, was he if he was fit, if he was, in shape, and we kind of laughed like, haha, Fat Man Scoop, he got that from his uncle. Okay, okay, great hand, Fat Man. But when in reality, is it like, no, seriously, he should have been eating leaner meats, and if not meats, better vegetables, and eat, low calorie meals, and low carbohydrates, and sugars. He knew all that. He talked about that in one of his final interviews. He was saying how he was trying to get his sugars down. I think he had diabetes. I'm not sure. I'm not 100%. I tried to do my research as much as I could, but I think he might have had diabetes. Um, Correct me if I'm wrong. Get it in the community section or the comment section. Let me know how dumb my ass is. Um, but I think that was the case with Fat Man Scoop. He definitely had a zest for life. He had a great intellect. It seemed like he was a reader. Seemed like he was more of a thoughtful person. He didn't just say yup, yo, word, what's up. He said he actually had words that he expressed and said things to him, to the crowd, to audiences, and to interviewers. He was on an Australian show talking about he took business class to Australia because that would have been some serious coin. Taking a plane. He said anywhere on a plane, whether you're in first class, business class, coach, whatever the case may be, a trip to Australia is going to be like, it's going to be trying on you. It's going to definitely, test you. So he was definitely in business class, and he enjoyed the flight. He was very conversational and very intelligent when he spoke with the Aussies. Not like that's some major achievement. Like, oh, he was intelligent. No, he just seemed like he knew what he was talking about, and I just wanted to point that out. I wanted to show how he knew what he was saying. That's the beauty of Fat Man Scoop. He was a beautiful person. I never met him, but I'm just saying from the uh, way of speaking, he was very congenial. He was hilarious. He was funny a lot of times. He enjoyed what he did. He worked what he did with work. He had multiple things going on. He had multiple businesses going at one time. He had a cannabis business going at one time. So, he was definitely, down for the good times. Let's see. So, Fat Man Scoop definitely had a family. He had friends. It's just really sad that we have to see him, now as a former. That's the sad part. That's the sad part. So we have to really and take this in, take all of this, into account, into reality, because we're all gonna reach that point. Nobody escapes death. You can put death in check, but death is always gonna checkmate. That's facts. You can put death in check. You can escape death sometimes, and you'll be all right. But in the end game in chess, death is always going to put you in checkmate every time. So, play the game as much as you can. That's all I can say. and keep putting death in check. That's all you can do. But Fatman Scoop, man, he just had fun. He had fun. He seemed like he had a good time with life. He didn't seem like he was somber and solemn and low down and in the doldrums, and he didn't seem that way at all. He didn't seem very he didn't seem like he was decrepit or like he was crippled or anything like that. It just seemed like he was very distinct from other labels or ideals. He gave a great story. He was supposed to be the biggie. He was one of the biggies. There's like 3 biggies, I think, now in history. He was saying how he was supposed to be on Uptown Records. I think that was the precursor to Bad Boy. And he was supposed to be with Diddy, and he was supposed to be with he was supposed to take Biggie's spot before Biggie even came there. And the other Biggie, I can't remember his name, but he was like from a different part of the country. But he was supposed to be like with Diddy, and no Diddy, by the way. And he couldn't do it anymore because he was like, this isn't my life. I'm talking about all this gangster street hood thug shit, and all I'm getting is bad vibes from this. I'm not telling my I'm not speaking my truth. I'm not saying it's reality. So he definitely felt that he needed to say that he's not part of that lifestyle, and I'm not going to be your Biggie, no Diddy. so he moved on from there. Then he had the DJ thing. Just that Be Faithful song, like that will always be like the party starter. That will be one of the biggest party starters of all time. Right next to Can I Clear My Throat? I can't remember who made that. I didn't do the research on that. But so that is the facts of that. Be Faithful. He had the Faith Evans song, and he just had his ad libs over it. And then, what's your zodiac sign? What's your zodiac sign? Like, I just remember those little parts from it. And then, all the chicken heads, be quiet. All the pretty girls, make noise. Like, he was one of the first to ever, like, really, be over a track and, like, say stuff like that. One of the first. Not the first, but there have been dozens before him. But he's one of the first to do that for hip-hop. And so I think that's really cool. I think that's like an awesome kind of way to remember him, and to definitely show him that he was a man of substance, a man of significance, and that he really challenged the stigma of being an overweight man. But like I said, we can say all we want about overweight people, they look, it's a vibe when they're around, they're holly and jolly, and like Santa Claus and stuff like that. But in reality, we have to take into account for the fact that they are risking their lives, just like he risked his life and lost it to unhealthy dieting plans and exercise routines. That's a fact. That's a sad fact. It's a sad reality we have to confront. There are plenty more. It's just like Big Pun. He said, I lost 100 pounds. He was up to what, 500 pounds, something like that? Lost 100, but it still didn't do much. Because that's what happens with your everything in your body, all your cells, everything, your heart, all your organs, your skin, your brain, everything has to work even harder once it has all this cellulose and all this protoplasm that is involved in the makeup of your body. Like that's the serious part about all of this. We have to take that into account, and especially African American or Black or foundational Black Americans or whatever the case may be. Let it be known that they do. I say they because I'm not a Black person. I'm only Black when there's a racial significance to it. But they account for more deaths. They have a lower lifespan. than their white counterparts and their Asian counterparts, and their maybe Hispanic, I think too. But black people, and they die younger for all sorts of reasons: cancers and diabetes and high blood pressure and all kinds of different ailments that don't have to be. And we're still waiting on the exact results of Fatman Scoop's demise. But until then, we have to really look at the fact that he wasn't the most fit person in the world. But that's the thing too. That's just weird, because some people that are extremely fit, like athletes are very fit, but sometimes they have some kind of aneurysm, or they have some kind of issue with their blood, or something with their skin, or something like that. So it could be a question of what his diet plan was, and his exercise routine. But we really may never know. We may until the results are handed down from the. I guess there would be an autopsy, or something that will determine that the death of Fatman Scoop. But until then, we can enjoy his music. We can enjoy the fact that he worked with Mariah Carey. He worked with a lot of people. He won a Grammy. He won a music MTV Music Video Award. So he was accomplished, and he had respect. That's like all you need, really. Love. I got love for him. That's cute. That's cool. That's cool. But when you have respect for somebody, that means that you may not necessarily like them, but you have a modicum of admiration for them based on their character and who they are and what they're about. That is true character. That is true character. When you can respect somebody despite, I didn't really like what you did, but I respect who you are. That's the ultimate in my life, I think. I've experienced. I don't really see eye to eye with a lot of things you do or say, but I respect you for saying them. That's where I am. So I think that is definitely a reminder to us all to just pay attention. Just pay attention to what foods we eat, what our exercising routines are. Understanding, if he was probably jumping up and down, I'm sure, and his heart was like, okay, all right, and said, forget you, maybe, allegedly, I don't know what happened, but that could have happened, that could have occurred. We won't know yet till the full story is disclosed. So Fatman Scoop is among the ages now. That's what they say, And that's the thing with death. I mean, that's the finale. That's why we have to enjoy life. That's the exact reason why life is so beautiful. My life is beautiful. My life is great. It can be better. It's got a lot of room for improvement. But until I get to my point where I think I have, the woman in my life, and I have the right domicile and the right housing, that's when it's going to be special, and that's when it's going to be even stronger than it is now. My life is like an A-. It really is like an A-. I'm looking for an A+ though, with extra credit. That's the best kind of living there is. But Fatman Scoop, I think he experienced it. There was one point they said on his show he bought his girl a Benz. Bought his girl a Benz for Valentine's Day, and she got him a bowl. That was wild. That was kind of crazy. That was a little crazy. He got her a Benz last year, and then the next year she got him a bowl, like for cereal. And she said that he could eat a whole box of cereal in one sitting. If she's not exaggerating, that's pretty serious. That's cause for concern. That would definitely have been cause for concern. Definitely. So that's the power of persuasion, I guess. You give me a Benz, I'll give you a bowl. So, anyway, so Fatman Scoop, definitely a legend. Definitely going to go down in history, going down in hip hop history. If he's not in the hallways of hip hop, he needs to be there. Definitely now. You know, they're going to have, you know, a Fatman Scoop Day, most likely. They're going to have a parade and partying and barbecue and face painting and drinking quarter waters and all that, you know, just for his memory. You know, I can see that happening. That's the difference that, you know, a lot of different cultures make. You know, they have a special day, you know, on his birthday most likely, which is what? Let me see what his birthday was. August 6th. Wow, he just turned 53 on August 6th. Wow. And they're saying rapper. He was a rapper technically, but then again, not real, not like Jay-Z, not like, you know. And it's saying that he didn't really die. Well, he died yesterday. He was a rapper, a hype man, and a radio personality. Yeah, he was a radio personality. One of the great things about the Boondocks was it introduced people, you know, of, you know, younger years into the fold of different hip hop icons such as DJ Vlad and Vlad TV, and Fatman Scoop. He had an interview with Gangsterlicious, which was hilarious. You know, so it was a sleeper hit. They call it a sleeper hit. Be Faithful. That's a strong dance record. So it definitely had its run. Wow, it's got a lot of songwriters. It's got Nile Rodgers in one of the songwriters. Wow, that's amazing. But yeah, Fatman Scoop, definitely a hip hop legend, without question. One of the best to ever do it, ever to pick up a mic, you know, and talk to it and say to it and make it come alive. That was the best thing. He made it. His songs come alive. Everybody got on the dance floor when the song came on, and and it stuck around for him to say, you know, all the different ad libs and stuff like that. You know, the other ones I can think of are like DJ Khaled, DJ Clue. Um, I would say even to an extent, uh, some people go with like Public Enemy, Chuck D, and Flavor Flav. Flavor Flav definitely had that hype man kind of agenda to him. So that's pretty interesting. So we have to take out all that into account. We have to take every bit of it into account. We have to understand it, digest it, and regurgitate it in order to let the young people know who Fatman Scoop was. I don't think there's too many 12 or 13-year-olds who know who Fatman Scoop was. May have heard his songs, may have heard who he was, but couldn't, you know, oh yeah, that's right, that's who he was. Because like even something like the Boondocks was like what that was like to 2008, 2009, maybe 2010, maybe. And look how long ago that was. It's 14 years ago. So, you know, the alphas don't have a clue who the hell he was. Maybe some Zoomers. I know millennials will know him, and then Generation X definitely know Fatman Scoop. Then most baby boomers. He was a baby boomer. So, or maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was Generation X. Because I'm thinking about, yeah, he was Generation X, as a matter of fact, because Baby Boomers was 1946 to 1964. His birthday was 1970. Yeah, he was Generation X. Yeah. So, salute to him. I'm not a believer. I don't subscribe to the theory of God. I'm my own man. I have my own thoughts and processes. I don't say, oh, he's in the bosom of Abraham right now, and he's going to be going to that golden place up in the sky, and he's going to fly high, and he's going to walk the streets of gold, and he's going to have in his hand a hold Jesus. Ain't he all right? Ain't he all right? But yeah, so I can't say any of that and without any jest. I mean, it's just not true. Is that's the sick and sad part of reality that we live in now. The majority of the people really truly believe that. They have to believe that. They have to affirm that. There's no facts, there's no proof, there's no evidence, but they have to understand that. They have to see it for what it is, as in their mind, as being fact. But it's really belief. They at least use the right terminology when it's the right time. They say, oh no, I have faith. Yes, you do. That's it. That's exactly what faith is. Acceptance of ideas in the absence of evidence. That's faith. Yeah, you got that. Belief. Belief is essentially the acknowledgement of something that doesn't exist or doesn't have anything in reality. That's belief. Yeah, you're true. You have belief. But what you don't have are facts and reality and proof and evidence. That's the thing you kind of need in order to have a sound mind, in order to have a clean frame of thought. That's the reality of what we are right now. So this is like my little eulogy to Fatman Scoop. He's not going on to heaven. He's there's no hell, there's no heaven, there's no hell. It's just non-existence. I mean, a lot of people say it's eternal darkness. It's just non-existence. Just you're just out of nothing. There's just absolutely nothing. It's like when you go to bed and you go to sleep and there's no dream, but you wake up in the morning. That's the kind of thing that happens. It's like you don't have a dream and you don't see anything and nothing happens, and that's it. That's just it for eternity. Why even waste all that? Eternity is now. Eternity is right now. That's what you have to view life as. Eternity is what's going on at this moment, right now, in this place on earth, until we branch out into different planets and things of that nature. I mean, we're all here on this earth. So we have to acknowledge that. That's one thing that we have to really take into account and really show that we're really so that we really know what we're saying, and really know what we're saying about serious topics such as the existence of a god or gods. Some serious stuff right there. That's talking about what's true and what's not true, what's real, what's not real. That's dealing with your brain. That's dealing with your psychology. It shows that not psychiatry, because that's different, but psychology. It's a bad sign, as Ayn Rand said, because it shows that you're unwilling to, or you refuse to stand on your own mind. That's a dangerous thing to do, to not be able to stand on your own mind. And of course, at his funeral, at all the memorial services, everything like that, it's gonna be Jesus and God and hallelujah. Depending on his religious or his faithful religious affiliation, could be Allah and Muhammad and Yahweh. It could be all sorts of people at the same time, but that's the main ideal behind all of this. And that is, the main draw behind all this is that you have to take into account your health, your health, your health. It's better than your wealth. Because without health, you ain't got no wealth. All right. Salute to Fatman Scoop, Isaac Freeman. All right, the third. So of course, it's that time again. 0 viewers, 2 likes. But I have to extend it to the people. Read and share the hottest story on the web, Vessel Control Part 2. Thanks. That's all I'm saying. Just share it. I'm getting reads. I finally said reads instead of views. You should applaud me for that. But I'm getting reads. I'm definitely, taking into account all the different ideals that go along with it. So I'm very fortunate to do other challenges at the same time on the site. But my main draw is the story of Vessel Control Part 2. That's what I'm really focused on doing. That's gonna be my main draw for the next few days. I guess it's what is that 6 days, something like that. Because they're calculating now. They're looking at the judges are looking at the different stories right now. They're going back and forth like, oh, well, this one has 100,000 reads, 100,000 reads, and I guess, and this one has only 6 reads, but this one's better. But we got to get to 100,000 reads because it's just as popular. In a sense, I can understand and respect it, but it's always that question. It's always going to be that question: is it good because it has reads, or does it has reads because it's good? That's the difference. That's the idea what all judges of different works have to consider, But that's the thing too. When you have a prize, when something wins a prize, it gets automatic attention. It says, "Wow, this is amazing. This is extraordinary. This is very great." So there's just so many avenues for greatness in vocal, but this story is just part of that. It has elements of humor, elements of drama, elements of understanding. So you have to really take it all in at one time and understand where it really fits into the picture that I painted. So everybody that has been able to read or share or comment or like or pledge or subscribe, all these things contribute to the success of Vessel Control Part 2. And I'm looking for the gold. I'm looking for a gold on this one. I'm looking for the win. I'm looking for a win. I'm definitely looking for a win. So, and that means first place. That doesn't mean a runners up, or that doesn't mean second place. I'm talking about gold. I'm talking about first place. Because if 2 is not a winner and 3 nobody remembers. That's what the great Nelly said one time. What does it take to be number 1? What does it take to be number 1? I will find out one day soon. I'm going to address that to the vocal people. Like, what are you guys looking for? I'm going to be like Soulja Boy with Grammy. That's one of my favorite songs. Party like a rock star, not like my NASCAR. I drive a fast car. I didn't deserve a Grammy. It's like, and he does deserve a Grammy. Or at least he did deserve a Grammy. Crank That. See, that was another example. Great success. Was on the charts for I think 7 weeks in a row at number 1. The top of the Hot 100 for like 7 weeks, I think it was. All while I was in boot camp. So I didn't know what the hell a Soldier Boy was. And I got out of boot camp, and this kid had it playing in his car. We were going around for recruiting, and he had the rock version. I was like, whoa, what the hell is this? It's crazy. But I didn't know about that. But that's the kind of reaction I want to see with Vessel Control Part 2. I want people to say, whoa, what the hell was that? What is this about? Oh my God. That really happened? It didn't really happen in real life, but like that happened in the story? Really? Wow, I didn't see that coming. I didn't know about that. They were talking about it the whole time and I didn't really get it. Like that's the thing. He's the two characters, Rear Admiral Rodney Carr and Captain Melita Vereen, they're going back and forth and talking about this, certain action, and they don't ever go back and say, oh well, I should have thought of that, later. But the reader's like, wait a minute, I didn't even see this at all coming. A lot of people said that. Like I have one reader, she says she audibly gasped, like, oh my gosh, I didn't really see that coming. I didn't understand that. But she would soon comprehend it later. She got the reasoning behind it. So that's what I expect you all to do. I expect you all to say that there is a definite connection between this. You can call it a space opera if you want, but it could be anywhere. Like they even gave examples of seafaring vessels, like tugboats and yachts and aircraft carriers and stuff like that. But it could be anywhere. I mean, I chose to be in a vessel in space because that grabs attention. That says, "Whoa, wait a minute! He's talking about somebody else." We didn't even have that thought. That's the first one to happen. When I got $500 from from Vessel Control Part, the original Vessel Control. I got $500 because it wasn't the best in their eyes. It was the greatest in my eyes, but in their estimation, they said, this is second place. This isn't first place, but it got that far up to second place, which I'll take. I'll take second place for that. Not this one though. I changed my mind on this one. If they give me anything else, or if I don't get any placement at all, I'm never gonna do the same thing twice. I'm not gonna, I could do Vessel Control Part 3, but it may be docked on a a landing pad on the Earth or something like that. Whatever the case may be, I don't know. But I don't think I made the mistake. I think I made it clear what I want to do with my intentions and what I thought would be rational, what I thought would be truthful, what I thought would be, would aid the story, would give it some heft, give it some life, give it get a better understanding. And a lot of people don't really realize that. They don't really recognize the fact that it's not about just being in space and stuff like that. That's part of it, but that's not. It's actually a key element to the story. The fact that it's in space. The story is about the challenge is about someone going overboard, and we have to figure out who went overboard and why. That is the premise to what it is all about. That's the whole gist of it. That's what keeps it together. So I definitely recommend that you read it, view, if you want to say the word view it, but share it, like it, comment on it, subscribe, pledge, all of that good stuff. So it's very promising that we have so many people that have already read the story and have said what their favorite part is. And that's what leads me to greater heights in writing. Leads me to a better standing. Now I see one person in here. Why don't you tell like 3 people, but don't tell 4 people about me? Is that I'm wondering who the goofy guy with the black hat and the gold tie and the black shirt is. Yeah, there's one person in here. Whoever you are, just tell like 2 or 3 other people. It's gonna go back to 0. It's gonna go 1 and then 0. 1 0 1 0. So that's the sad part about all this. But that's facts. That's truth. That's reality. Just like with Vessel Control Part 2. There's competition. There's stiff competition. Strong competition. Tens, maybe hundreds, even maybe thousands of people submitted to this challenge and have, may have a stronger grasp than I do. I'm going to tell the truth on the structure of story, on way to build tension, way to build worlds. I have to give them that credit. So whoever you are, Mr. or Mrs. One viewer, just show yourself in the top chat. Just say, hey, I'm in here. What's up? What's going on? This is one of my lowest ranking viewed videos so far. I'll probably get about 6 views. Probably get like 6 views if I'm lucky. If I was on my phone, it'd be like 150. It's crazy. Phone is wild. I just love the fact that that's the truth. I just love the fact that there's like drama and like irony, and it just makes sense for my life. It's ironic because like the phone is like small and it's got the sides and it's not, best clarity. But I have my MacBook. It's HD. It's got great views, but it doesn't attract as much people. Doesn't give enough people enough, ability to look at my stuff. Such is life, C'est la vie. But Vessel Control Part 2 is my baby. It is my work. It is something that needs to be addressed. It has great designs by Kurt DZ. I think that's what it is. Designs by Kurt DZ, by DZ at gmail.com. So check him out. Make sure you have your pocketbook ready, because he doesn't come cheap. So enjoy that. Enjoy the fact that you are supposed to like all of that. And Vessel Control Part 2 is definitely something that is, it works on the mind. It works on the brain. There's no heart. Heart ain't nothing but a glorified pump. That's another thing with society we have. This is my ranting hour. This is my soapbox. But so with heart, the heart, a heart. Even they go, and then they put that on, for if you like something, you heart it. You put a heart. It's like a verb. You heart it. That's like ridiculous, because it's not your heart. It's your brain. And we're still in 2024. We're still going by the heart. The brain is what decides emotions. They had the what was it called? The pseudoscience phrenology, which contributed. Sadly, it said certain things were very racist and very flawed, but for the most part, it contributed to what is reality for brains, because it gave the regions of the brain that manufacture thought, manufacture comprehension, manufacture feelings and emotions and things of that nature. So I think we can get away from the heart idea really quickly if we really pay attention to what we're doing. Because I'm really like, I've written stories about it. It's like, it's not the heart. It's not the heart at all. It has nothing to do with the heart. It's a glorious organ, but it's a glorified one at the same time. So, also one person who's here, just like one time, put it up to 3. It's at 2 right now. Whoever you are, looking at my beautiful face. All right, now you're gone. Just that simply, just that quickly. They're out of here. That's all right, because I have no friends. Like, buddy, close, talk on the phone, go meet up somewhere. I don't have that. And I'm good with that. I'm fine with that completely. That means I don't have to deal with drama or bullshit or anything like that. I mean, unless it's cool. Like I'm cool with a lot of people. Like I'm friends with people. I'm not like buddy with them. Like my main man Peng. We're friends, but we're not like buddy. And that's just what weird about. That's another thing we have to think about. It's another thing we gotta think about. Friends. How many of us have them? No, but friends have been corrupted by Facebook for the most part. The idea of friends. I have hundreds of friends, but they pretty much shadow ban me. Everything I put up is pretty much, relegated to some, bin, like, meh. I don't get, responses or anything like that. Only responses I get really is when I get top story on vocal.media, and I'm not going to probably get those anymore, probably, because I'm trying to get to exclusive content, that other people won't be able to get. So I'm trying to get to that point. So it's a weird way. It's just like with God. It's just like everything. God, heart, friends. Heart and friends exist in a sense. God doesn't exist in any sense. It's very scary to understand what they really mean. It's very scary to venture out on your own and say without belief that you're making an example of yourself and trying to show that you have more than what you actually know. That's the power of knowledge. That's the power of thinking. And that's what we have to get to as a species. We have all the tools. We have everything. Our brains, that's the main tool. That'll get us anywhere, thought-wise. We've created so much. We've been able to, make our lives longer, have greater standard of lives, have greater living conditions. Thanks for the like. Appreciate it. Even though the likes don't really do anything until you're at like 100,000, I think. You get like 3 likes, you're like, that's cute. Whatever. They don't really pay attention to you until you get to like 200,000 likes. What's that Mr. Beast nigga? That Mr. Beast nigga, I applaud him. I'm not gonna shade him or anything. He's got products you can get in the store. He got money. He has like 20 million subscribers. We got all the different words: friends, followers, subscribers. My favorites is probably subscribers. That lends to money, most likely. That lends to the reality of realizing truth. It helps out a lot. But getting back to it, I told you I was going to go on a tangent, go on my rant. Vessel control part 2. You need it in your life. I don't care who you are. You need vessel control part 2. It needs to be part of your vocabulary. It needs to be part of your reading. If you haven't read your books for school, that's a problem. But you can read the story and it'll take you less than 6 minutes or less than 7 minutes. And you'll be able to glean a little bit of wisdom from it. And it'll be something that you can definitely rest upon. That's the wonderment. And that's the beauty of knowing that you have a creation, something that never was before, but now is anywhere, not everywhere, but anywhere. It's on different people's sites. It's on different people's, minds, in their thoughts. I was about to say hearts. I was like, whoa, slow down. But it's in their minds. So I definitely agree with the fact that we have the ability to continue with this same motive of thinking. That's the beauty of it all. That's what's so splendiferous. Just to use a word. Splendid, It makes me feel wonderful. I love the fact that there's going to be a point in the story where the whole room, a whole hall, they call it a mess hall, are on their feet and they're cheering for Rear Admiral Rodney Carr. I love that scene. That's one of my favorite scenes. And then he looks down at his plate and he sees, a very familiar meal. And he looks to the side and, something to wash it down with. I'm not going to give it away. But he's very taken aback and very, happy about this. It's a sly little gesture because they know he loves both of them. So they do that, and it just goes on from there. It just has a little bit of a twist at the end. You'll see what happens. Hopefully you'll understand the reason why. And another condition, another way, this would have been, sad and a tragedy and stuff like that. But I look at it as celebration. It's a celebration. I see it as, a great figure doing what he's got to do. That's what he says. He says, doing what I got to do. Isn't that what you young people say? So he says that to Melita Vereen, Captain Melita Vereen. And he just continues on. And I hope that you really, take in the little pieces of the story, the little shining moments that occur. I hope it all coalesces in your brain and allows you to better understand what it truly means to be someone of power, someone of not necessarily power. I'm not saying like power hungry or power lust or something like that, but true power of the mind, true power of thought. That's what I'm trying to get to. That's what I'm saying. So it'll take a little bit of time to read it, under 7 minutes. I'm going to show you that. It will give you a perspective that not too many people may have. It gives a lot of understanding and a lot of truth. Just gives a lot of truth to the matter. That matter, I'm not going to reveal it. If you want to reveal it to the people around the internet, that's your prerogative. Let them read it, though. Tell them what happens at the end. Tell them the truth. Tell them the reality. Let them know. Say, hey, this is what happens to them. This is what's going to happen. And then let them say, oh, let me see how that happened. Let me see what happened. Let me see the reason behind that happening. That's what makes it special. That's what makes it great. That's what gives it its gravitas, its seriousness. But at the same time, it's a happiness. It's a celebration. It's a gladness. It's something that should be, selected as a great moment in time. That's the reality of it. And so I would say Vessel Control Part 2, Vessel Control Part 2, Vessel Control Part 2. I had to say it 3 times like Beetlejuice, 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 Oh snap, he put it. No, he didn't appear. But it's totally different. It's a totally different game. It's quiet. Vocal.media is quiet. Nobody knows. You go on the street, what's Vocal.media? What is, you say Google, oh, Google. Facebook, oh, Facebook. Netflix, oh, Netflix. Oh, yeah. I did that wrong. It's Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google. And Google's really Alphabet. So. But if you go on the streets, to the random person, they'll never know what Vocal.media is. It's just the truth. But I made good money from them. I made 4 figures, tax-free. Same thing with YouTube. Contributions, tax-free. Thousands of dollars, over $1,000. It's not bad. And it came from nothing. All this came from me. This is me. This is a selfish way to say it. Nobody but nobody, other than Mr. Choice Terrain, said something about YouTube. And nobody but nobody said anything about Vocal.media. It was an ad on Facebook. They knew that I'm a writer. They know by the algorithms that I'm a writer. So they tailored the advertising to go to a site that goes to it. And I was just like, I'm coming home from Tryon, and I'm like, Tryon was like 10 cents, and that's as much money I made. Then I went to Hub Pages, and that was a disaster. That was just ugly. And then I was like, let me try out this Vocal.media, and I was like, whoa, this is pretty serious. And I've garnered close to 70,000 views in 7 years. So that's like 10,000 views a year. Not bad. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. I want more. I want 100,000 views a year. I want 1 million views a year. I want 1 billion views a year. Then we can talk. Then we can have a discussion. Until then, though, I'm going to keep grinding, keep shining, doing what I got to do. Fly in, the rest of them still got my Nike boots. Who said that? This is the beauty of it all. This is what really feeds into the challenge that I've set for myself. So, Vessel Control Part 2 will forever live. When I die, it'll still be alive. That's what's so amazing about art and the work that we do. It may not just be art, but the work that we do, especially art, it lives. It has a life. But also, contracts to 99-year leases on, sky rises and skyscrapers and towers. Those are living documents, and they have to be respected. That's just so beautiful. We have to really take that all into our brains, into our minds. So I'm going to wrap up with Vessel Control Part 2 being the number one story that you have to read and share and like and comment and subscribe and pledge. I know it's not, it may be too late, But even if I get an uptick in people watching and viewing, which is not a lot for this show, that's to tell the truth. But if I actually get enough reads, if I get enough reads, I can possibly get to that coveted place, that golden place, number one, numero uno. That's what I want. So I'll say take care, and I'll see you sometime tomorrow.